morning. My name is Maya Gudur, and for those who don't know me, I'm one of the managing directors of Pacific Estates. I have the distinct pleasure of interviewing today Eric Martinez. Eric, how are you? Nice to see you too. Eric is an attorney and also has his own business as an insurance agent. And for all of those clients and potential clients that have sent us lots and lots of questions about health insurance and about homeowners insurance, this is the gentleman that's going to answer all of these questions. So we've got quite a bit, Eric. Let's start with medical. One of the key questions that people ask us is what kind of health insurance policies are available in Costa Rica?
Well, thank you for the interview, but I'm talking about medical. It's very important to say that we have two options in Costa Rica for foreign people that came here. One is international, that cover you up to $2 million coverage, and then the other one is we call it regional. This is all around Central America, and this one cover up to $200,000.
Okay.
We work with.
What's the difference in price? And what
price is like a 50% difference.
50% difference. So if the regional would cost what?
It's a person that has, let's say, 60 years old, pays $2,500 per year.
A year?
A year.
Per individual? Is that family?
Individual.
Is that?
You can add the family too, but you have to pay for each person added in the policy.
Right. But is it 2,500 for each person, or it's 2,500 as a base? And then for every additional person, how much would that be?
Because we have to check the age of the person to add it. Because if it's a kid, 19 years old, pay only $500.
For the whole year?
For the whole year.
Okay.
But it is
and if it's somebody that's 65 or 70 years old?
Increase the value. How older you are, you're going to pay more. More premium.
Right. So what would be the difference then between a regional insurance and the premium insurance then?
The international?
The international, right.
International, in the same case, the person that is 60 years old would be around $5,000 per year.
$5,000 per year. Okay. And that covers?
Covers any accident, any illness, and well, we can talk about pre-existing conditions.
Okay.
That they won't cover that.
They don't cover pre-existing conditions.
They won't cover that. And deductibles is very important because deductibles are between 5% to 20%, depending on which situation is involved in this case.
And okay, so let's say I have an insurance policy, and I go to the hospital. How does the deductibles work? Do I get billed? Do I have to pay the deductible beforehand, or once the hospital gives me the bill, I have time to pay it back to the hospital, or how does that work?
Okay, for common service, like you have appointment in the doctor because you have any illness, you just pay ahead the entire payment right there. So we submit the claim, and in the next 5 weeks, the money is in your side.
Isn't so it takes 5 weeks to get reimbursed.
Reimbursed payment, yes.
Okay, and that's guaranteed.
Oh yes. I'm very sure because I have a good experience in this kind of policy, and people no more than between 4 to 6 weeks the money is there.
Okay. So what does one have to do to get health insurance here? How is the process?
Okay, the process is simple.
Okay.
But you have to be a residency. You have to have a residency.
You have to, okay, so basically what you're telling me is that non-residents are not entitled to health insurance.
Exactly.
Is that correct?
Exactly.
Okay, so if we get a little bit creative, if we get people with dual citizenship, is that possible that they can acquire health insurance then?
After they receive the car,
yes,
they will be a problem.
They will be. Okay, so then the answer basically is you need dual citizenship in order to get health insurance from Costa Rica.
Yeah, it's permanent residency is enough.
Yes, yes. Okay. And all right, so that's the criteria in order to qualify for health insurance.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's say that I become a resident or have dual citizenship. Explain the process.
Okay, you came to my office,
Yes.
and if you are over 55, we have to send you to a special medical test. The insurance pay for everything.
So you do a physical.
Physical.
Is it a complete physical or is it just blood work or what is it?
You do physical, blood work, urine test. Depend the age, or if you smoke too much, they do another special test. And then, you know, when the insurance company get back all the results, they give us the premium of and they accept the policy, and you just pay the premium, and you can pay it in once a year, twice a year, or 3 times per year.
Okay.
4 times.
And how long does that whole process take?
Between 1 to 3 weeks to have the policy ready.
Okay.
Start ready
And
to use it.
to be able to do it.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And what are the deductibles compared to deductibles in the United States? Can you compare them?
Well, I can say that this policy is a copy of the health insurance in the United States,
Okay.
because Costa Rica is very young in insurance, you know. So we use a lot of copies of the system that the United States use in the policies. Because my clients, when I ask for anything like documents or things like that, they say, well, it's like the same in the United States, it's the same policy. But it's cheaper. It's cheaper.
Okay.
Because a lot of clients of us, you know, in this office, they move from the policy that they hold in the United States to Costa Rican policy because it's cheaper.
Give me an example. How much cheaper would be a deductible?
About deductibles? So
Yeah.
deductible, if you got let's say simple situation, you got a doctor because you have some stomach pain or something like that. You just pay the appointment, that is around $100 cost, plus medicines that you have to buy or test you have to pay for. And then the insurance company came back with 90% of that payments
Okay.
back. So they use, let's say, 10% deductible,
10% deductible.
15% deductible. And in some situations, you have to be in the hospital. They pay for the entire 100% of the first 2 or 3 days right there. And then they use, after that, they use some deductible.
I understand. Is there any people that don't smoke, people that have are of younger age, is there any, less premiums for those kind of individuals, or is it just status quo for everybody?
We have like a standard premiums.
A standard premiums?
Yes. And only if the people smoke too much or drink too much, so they're gonna have extra premium payment right there.
And how does the insurance companies deal with pre-existing conditions? I mean, I know you told me that it's not covered, but what happens? How do they know? What's the cutoff?
Well, they don't know.
If you come here, for instance, and you have everything is okay, you do the physical, and all of a sudden, a month later or 2 weeks later, something happens. You're totally covered.
Yes.
You wouldn't have
Yes.
any problem whatsoever in terms of them
Yes.
saying it would be a pre-existing condition.
Okay, because when you sign for the documents, you sign a lot of information saying that what is your history, medical history before. So if it's nothing there and you sign like you don't have anything else like that, after 2 months or 1 month later, if you came with some big problem, the insurance company is going to cover you.
Okay.
We have experience in that before, and they cover it.
Do they require any medical records from the United States or from Canada or from wherever
No,
the
sir.
individual may be from to verify?
No.
No.
No, they ask for a medical document for a doctor in Costa Rica that they check you before.
So they basically go by the physical that they do here, the exam
Yes,
they do here, and
exactly.
that sets the template and the wheels going forward.
Exactly.
Okay, very good, very good. let's get into, let's talk about homeowners insurance.
Homeowners.
Okay. Tell me, from a person walking in from the street saying, "Hey, I have just bought a house. How do I get insured? How does that work?"
Okay. The first step right there in homeowners insurance, I have to visit the house, take a look all around the house, the interior things, see how the house is, and then I make my own report, and we deal with the price of the value of the building. So let's
And
say.
how is that? Who determines that price?
Okay, interesting. In Costa Rica we work with square meters. That is we can get the value of the building by square meters. Let's say a house, building in that area that is Ubita or this South Pacific of Costa Rica.
Right.
The houses building right there is between 800 to $1,200 value of each square meter. So we go by numbers. Let's say 100 square meters cost $100,000 value of the house. So we work with that, and we can write the policy for fire, lightning, earthquake, landslide, flood.
Go. Elaborate a little bit on that. So earthquakes and fire. If somebody were to put a claim on something happened and they were to come and put a claim. So how does that work?
Okay, well, they have to come to me because I be the person that is gonna work in your side.
Right.
And in this case, we submit the claim to the insurance company. They're gonna send you an engineer to take a look of the damage of the house. Then he make a special report saying how much you have to spend fixing the problem or the damage.
Okay.
And then after that, the insurance company give us, me and my client, the estimation of the quotation, and we can agree or deny that payment and say, well, we need some more money because I'm not happy with the payment.
So the client can contest the amount that the insurance company is awarding for that
Yes.
damage, for those damages.
Yes.
What you're telling me basically is that a client can contest the amount that the insurance is awarding for those damages.
Yes, exactly. We in this case, we have to sit down with the person in charge of the claim department and have a deal with this guy, discuss because why we are denying this payment, and we can have some better negotiation because we used to do that before, and it's good for.
How often does that happen? I mean, what do insurances pretty much give you what it is to? These are, I'm assuming these are replacement costs, not to fix something.
Okay, no, we don't work with replacement costs in Costa Rica.
You don't work with replacement costs.
No, I'm sorry. We work with the value of the house in the time when we write the policy. So every
Right.
year we have to keep checking the value of the building, if it's okay or not in that time.
Okay, right. But let's say, there are earthquakes in Costa Rica, and we take precaution and build to protect the houses to accommodate the conditions.
Right.
Okay, but sometimes, in an earthquake, you can have cracks. You can have several things that need to be replaced that cannot be fixed.
Okay.
Okay, what happens in that scenario?
Okay. In that case, it's the same situation. The engineer made his own inspection, write the entire payment that he's gonna suggest to the insurance company, and the insurance company send us the information, and if we agree, they pay right away. It takes 1 week after.
1 week after you submit the claim,
No, 1 week after we agree with the payment.
you agree with the payment.
Yeah, but before that, it takes like 2 or 3 weeks.
2 or 3 weeks to
Yes.
cut, so you get an initial offering.
Exactly.
Let's say from the insurance company.
Exactly.
Okay, and take me through the process of appealing. Let's say, because we all tend to think that our houses are worth always much more than what it's appraised.
Right?
Okay, so let's say the policy, the insurance company comes back and the amount is, I don't know, 10% less or 20% less than what we really think it should be.
Okay.
Take me through the process of appealing.
Okay. In your example,
Yes.
like it's 20% less than the
Yes.
you think that it is. The insurance company say, for example, house is insured for $100,000, but the real value of this house is $80,000. So they will pay you with the 20% less than you thought that it is.
Okay, but yeah, but the values of the home with time keep going up,
Yes,
right?
That's
so
why.
is that considered in the equation,
Okay, that's why I suggest to my clients to every year check the value of the building, check the value of your car, check.
Is that the responsibility then of the homeowner himself to do an appraise every year, or
Okay, the responsibility in this case is of the owner in Costa Rica. In Costa Rica, it belongs to the owner, because the owner have to say, well, Eric, I like to check my policy. I like to check my policy, and I will be right there doing that checking because it's very important. It's not often, because we try to do the right insurance with the real value all the time. It's the most important thing. And talking about homeowners insurance, something important is we go by numbers, by letters, the coverage of that insurance.
Mhm.
A letter means fire and lightning, and it's covered in Costa Rica 100%. It's not deductible right there.
So if the house goes up in flames, 100% of the house there's no deduction.
It's not deductible.
Wow, that's very good.
Yes, and
Up to
the value of the value.
what was appraised at.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, then the letter B. Letter B means if any tree fall to your roof or something like that, or if you have any problem with the gutters, like water inside of the wall, something like that, we work with a $100 deductible. So you pay the first $100, and then the insurance company pay the rest.
Wow, that's
Yes.
great.
Then,
Great.
Yes.
That's unheard of back in
Yeah,
the States.
we go with number C.
Yes.
C means wind, landslide, and flood.
Okay.
And this one came with 1% deductible, 1% value of the house deductible.
Right.
They
So
say-
whatever the house is appraised at,
We go with the $100,000,
1%. Right.
$1,000
Right.
deductible.
Right.
And the letter D means earthquake. An earthquake is the same like C, it's 1% value of the house deductible. If something happened by earthquake, insurance company just take the first 1% value of the house, and then they pay the rest.
Within, like you said, a couple weeks. It doesn't make a difference to the value of the house.
No. They do a inspection in the next a week after the damage happened, the accident happened, and then they send an engineer in that week, and then we have the reports in another 5 days.
Okay, so let's go back a second to the beginning. So I come out of the street, I come in here, I introduce myself to you. I tell you, hey, I live in Coronado in Pacific Estates. I have a gorgeous house there. I want you to insure my house. So you sit down, we fill out the application, you go to the house, you inspect the house that has to be finished,
Yes.
okay? And what happens from that point in the procedure?
Okay, at that point, I went to the house, we filled some forms, that is like 3 or 4 different forms,
Okay,
and policies started right there at the same time.
on the spot.
Yes. In the same moment, with the same hour, we sign the papers, we
Okay.
write a receipt, the
Right.
house is insured in that moment.
Okay, and you take care of registering the policyholder with the insurance company?
Okay, we have the agents in Costa Rica have some power. When I sign a receipt saying it's paid, the policy is installed right away in that time.
Oh, so the burden of proof falls on you. It's your
Exactly,
responsibility.
exactly.
Not the homeowner's responsibility.
No. when we sign all the documents and you pay the premium, I give you the receipt. The house right there is insured.
That's amazing. That's great.
Yeah.
So, let's say I'm a homeowner and I decided to buy. I have very expensive furniture in my house.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Italy.
Mm-hmm.
I went beyond the norm, and I brought them in, and I've got a beautiful house and with very expensive furniture.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have to come to you and report all these furniture so you can add it in the homeowner's policy in the event that there's an earthquake or some catastrophic event, a godly event, and because so far you've been telling me you go by the value of the house.
Mm-hmm.
What about all the stuff inside the house?
Okay, the stuff inside of the house that we call in Costa Rica like contents. Contents is covered in the policy if you add some special premium for that, and will be covered with the same coverage A, B, C, and D. Same deductibles, but any item that costs more than $1,500 has to be reported by separate.
Okay, so the homeowner needs to report any item in and of itself that's more than $1,500.
$1,500.
Is that a premium that you're going to be adding on for the
No.
insurance to cover that, or
No, it's part of the contents premium. Let's say you have a $20,000 in contents insured in that policy,
Right.
but you in those $20,000 you have a fridge that costs $3,000. So
Right.
we add the brand of the fridge, the model number, serial number, the value, and the year that was made. And with that, if anything happened, the insurance company is going to pay you up to the value that it was reported. But if you don't report it, the insurance company don't pay no more than $1,500.
Okay. So and you do that on the visit when you're there.
Yes,
You look at everything
yes,
and you're visiting
yes.
everything. Okay.
And
What
so
about
this-
if you have a painting that's worth $100,000?
Okay, paintings.
On something specific
Yeah,
that
the
has
art-
a lot of value.
The art is not included in the policy.
Right. The art's not. But are there policies that would insure, like back in the States, we have special policies that insure
Yes.
expensive items. Let's say some people have a collection of something, that's worth, thousands upon thousands of dollars that they want to come in and bring. How would they do to insure that?
Okay, we have to make a special appointment with a special person that is expert person that is in San Jose. It's the only place where we have a person like that. We make an appointment with this guy. We set up the application, and the person came to your place and discussed with you the prices of the item. Let's say you have a paint that costs $50,000 value,
Right.
and he's an expert in that kind of products. So he discussed with you the price at the end. Let's say you say that it costs $50,000, and he say, well, maybe 40, and give a price. By this price, we make the insurance.
Okay. And how expensive is that? Is that very expensive, or?
Or it is expensive, and it's not common. It's not common, but now it's coming more.
It's becoming more common.
Yes.
So, do you have an idea of how much that would cost? How does that work?
No, we don't have premium for that. The premiums came after that meeting between the owner and the expert person, and then become like they send me an email saying, Eric, go talk to the person, and this is the rate of this insurance. So go by the value of the item, by the rates of this. They give it to me.
Okay, so let me ask you, so far we've discussed the house, we've discussed the contents inside the house. What about the contents outside the house?
Like what?
Cars, if I want to buy a boat, and the boat is in my driveway,
Mhm.
everything is covered by the homeowner's insurance.
No, sir.
No?
We have to do a special policy for each item. Let's say for the
That's
car.
outside the house?
Yes. For
Explain that. Explain
okay.
that. Yes.
I can give you an idea. Let's say you have the boat, you have the car sitting right there, and if the boat, we have a special policy for that boat. We have a special policy for the car, and have to be rated separately.
How does that work? Is that very expensive? What are
Costa
we
Rica.
talking
Let's
about?
say talk about car that costs $20,000. Let's say $20,000 value,
Okay.
and it's 2010. You can buy a policy like a full coverage for that car, and cost like $500 every 6 months.
500 every 6 months.
Yeah, for a car that costs $20,000.
Right.
For the boat, that is, I don't know, it's a boat that costs $100,000 value. You may pay around $2,000 every 6 months for that policy.
Okay.
To cover everything for the boat. Then something that is very important is liability insurance in Costa Rica.
Okay.
It's very, very important, and people came and wants to buy a policy, but the first policy that they like to buy in Costa Rica is liability insurance. And we are very, very different like in other countries. In Costa Rica, nobody, it's not usual that you can sue anybody because you went to their place and enjoy a visit and fall and break your leg.
Right.
Or
Right.
something like that.
Right.
We not usually sue anybody.
People
like
don't
that.
sue for that.
No, sir. But they buy a policy like that because they like to be insured in everything. So these policies, like a really good liability insurance for homeowners, cost around $600 every 6 months, every year.
Every year.
Per year.
And that
$600.
covers you what?
Up to $100,000.
Up to $100,000.
That is a good money in Costa Rica.
Is that per incident or that's total?
For the entire year.
Right. No. But
Per incident?
per incident.
Yes.
So if I were to have 2 claims, then the insurance would cover me $200,000?
No,
What you're saying?
you have to make a special premium if you use the entire amount that you.
So it's $100,000 for any amount of claims, but it's capped at $100,000.
Exactly, it's capped.
If I want to add more to that liability insurance, I can.
You can.
But so how much in increments of, let's say, I want to add another $50,000 to that?
It's 50% of the premium.
It's 50% of the premium.
Yes, because it's a rate right there. You can do the calculation for this. Let's say 0.50%. So.
Okay.
It's no matter it's 100,000 or 150, you can just go by that number.
Okay. Okay. Let me ask you this. So, I have a house. It's appraised at $200,000, and I do this, and I paint it this way, and I bring in certain fixtures, and in my mind, this house now is worth $300,000. And I come to you and I say, this house is, for me, is worth more than what it's appraised at. I want you to insure me for $300,000 on a house that the appraised value came in at $200,000. What happens in that situation?
My answer is no.
Your answer is no.
Yes.
I cannot buy extra insurance because I think that the house is worth more.
Okay, if it's a real value is 3,000, I say yes. But this is because you say, well, my house has 100 square meters and worth $500,000. And in my suggestion
Yes.
is don't do it, because if something happens, my insurance company is gonna pay you only 100,000. Even if you pay for coverage for 2 or 3,000, 200,000.
So how do you prove then if you did all this work inside the house, you have to get another appraise, I guess, afterwards as a homeowner to justify the difference, if it can be justified?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
basically you're saying that the insurance company is the one, the appraised value is what they're going to insure it at.
Okay. It's simple. the discussion is have to be by the real value. If you are over that, when the engineer came, he isn't gonna see only the damage. He's gonna check the entire property, he's gonna measure the property, and he goes by square meter. So he can give us the real value in that time.
No, I understand that, but let's say, for instance, I bought the house. The house cost me $200,000. It was appraised at $200,000. In the course of 6 months, I'm already moved into the house. In the course of 6 months to a year, I've done special finishes. I decided to put gold-plated, when you go to the bathroom, I have gold-plated fixtures. Okay? And I call you up and I say, hey Eric, I want you to come over and I want you to see, because I did all these new things to the house.
That's different, yes.
And I can't afford to have a homeowner's insurance policy that was appraised the way the house was before, and now it's different.
Okay.
So you come out again, and I guess you or the appraised company comes out again and needs to note, right? And the report.
And take some pictures too.
Yes.
Add that information, and we can
increase the value.
Yes.
Okay. So you basically are telling me that I can increase the value of the policy as long as I can prove the value is there.
Or you have a house that is 1 floor, and then you become with 2 floors because you like to build another. The house has 100 meters, now it's 150 because you add some parts, so we can increase without problems and anytime, no problem.
Okay, so as long as you justify the increase in value, you're okay. You can increase the insurance amount.
Yes.
Okay, very good, very good. Do you have any other topics that we have not touched upon that you would like to share with our viewers?
Okay, in Costa Rica it's very important to have, it's mandatory. If you hire people like a housekeeper, like gardeners, you have to have these people insured by two systems. One is workers' compensation, that is what I do too.
Okay.
And the other part is social security.
Right.
It's mandatory. If you hire somebody, do that as soon you can, because it's mandatory and it's very, very
It's a law.
It's a law. It's a law right there that is have two different systems that will have to be buy. In our case, to buy a policy for a lady housekeeper is very cheap. It costs around $90 per year.
Oh, wow.
That is cheap and it's covered 100%.
Very cheap. Yes. What about
the social security?
Is that also the same with the gardener also?
No, gardener costs around $300 per year.
$300 per year.
$300 per year.
Even though that gardener is doing work, is doing work for everybody else. It's not living on your property. It's not because a maid, I can understand, because most people have living maids that stay and live, and I can understand that. But a gardener is there for a couple of hours and leaves.
Gardeners have to be included because the law say when he's working in your place, he have to be insured. If anything happens right there and he don't have any insurance.
And the homeowner's insurance does not cover that.
No, it's separate.
It's separate.
Separate, and the other part is for social security. That is, it's nothing that is involved with me, but you have to have it. If you have an employee in Costa Rica, you have to have a social security for that employee.
Let me ask you a question. This may be an accounting question, but on the subject, okay, typically in the United States, if you hire a gardener, okay, or you give work to a gardener, the gardener is an independent contractor. He has his own company, and it's his responsibility to pay his taxes, okay, and to declare whatever he made, because the gardener comes to your house and he may cut my house, he may cut your house and the other person's house too. Okay, he's not my employee. Okay, how am I responsible to pay his taxes or for the work that he did in my house?
Okay, we have two options in Costa Rica. You can hire a company to make those service to you, and you
Yes.
have to pay that policy.
And you know, okay, so in other words, if the gardener has a company, okay, then you don't need to pay his Social Security,
No.
all right? What about with the insurance? Doesn't he have to have his own insurance for his own people?
Same situation, you don't have to pay his insurance.
You don't have to pay his
He
insurance.
has to came
Okay,
with the policy.
okay, okay, so
And
he must show you.
because you hired him by service.
Yes,
Not
yes,
by
that's
like
exactly
employee.
correct. Okay, so we don't have to worry about, in the event of a gardener, as long as he has his own company and he proves that he has his own company and he has his insurance
Exactly.
to cover his employees in the event that they get hurt on the job, regardless if they're in your property cutting the grass, he has to have insurance, workers' comp for his
Exactly.
workers.
Exactly.
Okay, so you don't really need, unless you want to have extra protection, you don't really need that insurance policy for the gardener.
If he is your employee, yes.
No,
If
but
he's
in the
that-
case, right.
Yeah.
Typically, a gardener is not your employee. Typically, you hire a company that comes in the area and does multiple houses, and they have their company. It's a
Yes.
company. It's a company to cut the grass and to do landscaping.
Okay. Okay.
Now, if you hire somebody that you want to do it and it does not have a company, then you should, to protect yourself, do what you're saying.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. But it's very important to talk about that because when people
Very
came to
important.
Costa Rica, regulations are different, like other
Yes,
countries.
yes,
So
yes.
it's very, very, very.
I appreciate the information. It's very, very
What
good.
else we have here? I don't. Well, be prepared in everything. Like contracts because
Yes.
they're very, very important. too.
Yes.
But I don't know if you have any other questions too.
Well, I think we covered a lot.
Okay.
I think it was very, very informative.
Okay.
I want to thank you very
It's a
much,
pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Eric, for
And,
taking
I'm
time
here-
out of your
I'm
busy
here-
schedule.
Yeah, here in San
And,
Isidro.
and most definitely, we're going to put your information. Do you have a website
my company have, so I'm part of the
of the website? Well, we're going to put your website up. So if any of our viewers are interested in contacting you directly, they
Yes.
can do so.
Yes.
And I hope all their questions get answered and all their concerns you can address them.
Thank you. Thank
All
you very
right.
much.
Thank you very much, Eric.
Pura vida.
Pura vida.